welcome back to MLB 25 The Show, the final review. I'm Ryan O'Hara for Ryan O'Hara on Sports. MLB 25 The Show is the best sports game on the market, but does it make it a great game or even a good game? Not necessarily. MLB 25 The Show is a game that does a lot of things right, but there's also a lot of things that they either do wrong or could do better. The gameplay, honestly, is not the issue. The gameplay is not the problem. It's the little things surrounding that sauce. It's like the noodles taste good, right? But there's not a whole lot of flavor outside of that. It's about the sauce, the cheese, the oregano, the extra spices that go on top of that food, right? That's where MLB 25 The Show lacks, or maybe they put the wrong type of sauce. So, for example, I'm really happy with some of the improvements they made in the game this year. For example, the crowd in the game feels absolutely alive. It feels like that you're a part of the experience, especially when you are a minor league player on your way up, trying to impress all the scouts, all the major league scouts who are looking at you. I thought that the college and high school thing was a cool addition, although I wouldn't say that it merits, a $100 price tag. Especially when your character model in high school looks exactly the same as it does when you're a 30-year-old. So basically what I'm saying is that my high school character looks like a 30-year-old pedophile with a pixie cut or a mullet or what have you. And there's presentation issues in the game. For example, you hit a fly ball to center field, and many times John Shambi will mention that a ground ball, base hit center field, when it's not a base hit and it's not a ground ball. And the issues that I talked about in previous games with the scoreboard having the wrong statistics, that is still an issue in this game. And I will provide an example of that. But I also want to talk about the good things. And I'll be honest. So last year and in previous years, I wasn't challenging myself on this mode. I was putting it on beginner mode and putting all the the fastball and off-speed pitches at 0 just so I could launch balls and get promoted faster. And there are instances where this game lacks just because of, how do you say it? A lack of attention to detail. And specifically, it comes in the interviews. Remember when you get promoted to, or at least you have your major league debut? I remember at the end of every game that I had, because basically I was cheating, the interviewer would come up and tell me that it was a historic debut. Well, it turns out that regardless of how good or bad you do, it's always a historic debut.
Will always remember this game as his major league debut, even if he didn't do it.
Why were you interviewing me after that? Historic debut? I didn't even do shit. Historic debut, my ass. Good lord, but it's my MLB debut. What the fuck? Come on, man. Thanks for your time. Why are you interviewing me after a bad game?
So as you saw from that video, that is a significant oversight. And this has probably been an issue for many years now, because we've had these interviews, historic debuts and whatnot. So yeah, I was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a ground out. And the game was telling me, wow, what a historic debut, when the very next question was talking about my struggles. So that's an oversight. That is an oversight that should not happen. Another thing, even though NHL's not EA NHL's, but EA's NHL series. Even though it's the Be a Pro mode has been virtually untouched for years, the intro's been the same since 2019. There are some things they do in their mode better than MLB The Show. For example, you have, I mean, basically your interactions with your teammates. It depends on how you play, right? In NHL, it's both that, but also both on and off the ice. So maybe your teammates want to go out and have a few cheeseburgers and fries at a restaurant. Well, what you eat also impacts your play in the game. So if I eat a cheeseburger, maybe my speed will go down. Maybe my timing will go down. My wrist shot power, my wrist shot accuracy will be a little bit messed up. But if I eat that cheeseburger, my team chemistry might be a little bit better. But what's the point if I'm not playing as well, right? Also in NHL, you can hire a nutritionist. You can do different things. Once you get to a different level, you can hire different people that can improve your play, improve the way you practice, etc. In MLB The Show, you don't have that. You have an agent, Stephanie Saunders, the same agent from last year, who, to be quite frank with you, is useless. So let's say you're number 1 overall in the draft. Stephanie, who now has a different haircut from last year, will tell you, "Oh, I'm really sorry that I couldn't get your package to you in time for the first game." What kind of agent are you if I'm the number 1 overall pick and you can't get stuff to me on time before my minor league debut or what have you? What kind of agent are you? And it's a problem. Like, I can understand having that feature if you could have different agents, but you can't. She's the only one. You're stuck with this crappy agent your whole career. Now, in future games, I'd like to have different agents because Stephanie's getting a little stale, right? She also sends you packages like every 9 games, and a lot of the times it's the same stuff you already have. So that's another thing. Some things are rushed in the game. Why is she sending me the same packages over and over and over and over and over again? That should have been caught in development. I understand that, sports titles nowadays, they don't have a lot of time to, it's tough. I understand it's tough, but it's not an excuse to put out a crappy product because of deadlines. Just based on how things are now, it's probably true that perhaps that there shouldn't be a yearly release. We've seen issues with this, especially with the next gen technology and whatnot. Now, going back to the whole thing with the Major League debut, is that kind of like EA, Major League Baseball, MLB The Show, San Diego Studio, they're taking features out, right? So remember, in previous games, after you hit your first career home run, you would have an interview. Again, these interviews are useless because no matter how you answer, it doesn't impact how people think of you at all. In NHL, yes, it does. Even though Frostbite's a crappy engine, and it's been a really, really rough few years for the NHL series, every answer you make impacts your brand, whether in a positive or negative fashion. In Major League Baseball The Show, it's just there. It's just bland. It's kind of like adding bamboo to a dish. Bamboo has no taste. These questions and answers have no taste. It has no meaning. It doesn't do anything. Now, it appears that MLB The Show removed the managerial interactions at the end of every month, which were annoying. That's nice. So they removed something that we didn't like. But on the other hand, they're kind of adding things that don't necessarily go into play. So they're taking things out that should be there or could have been improved, but they took out anyway. So yes, when I got my first career home run in the major leagues, it was my first hit. My first hit was a home run, and the crowd went absolutely ecstatic. And that, to me, that sent shivers down my spine. It felt like that was actually I was actually there for my first career home run. But then at the end of the game, there was no interview.
Extremely high number, especially when you're not getting results, Boog.
Oh, our first career hit's a homer.
Get out of town. You want to talk about kicking off your major league career with a bang. His first big league hit leaves the yard. He'll remember this trip around the bases for the rest of his life. Wow.
He ought to. Usually guys are squeezing the bat so tight, trying to get that first hit out of the way. They can't get the ball out of the infield, Boog, but not him. Maybe a glimpse of what's to come from him in the next few years. Good job. The pitcher knew as soon as that ball left his fingertips, it was trouble. Right on a platter, right down the heart of the plate. I'm sorry, but big league hitters don't miss that pitch.
Here's Jason Hayward. On the ground right side, Rosario. And they'll go the short way, and that is the ball game. O'Hara went deep for the first time in the major leagues, and I'm sure he'll treasure that moment forever. Put together 3 hits.
Okay, so they'll interview me after my historic debut playing like ass, but they won't interview me after I hit my first major league home run. Okay, I see how it is. Come on, guys.
And again, guys, I don't want this review to come off that it's all negative, because it's not. This game did some things that were necessary, like getting rid of skill sets. People complained for years that you couldn't be good at hitting and fielding. It was either or, fielding or contact. It couldn't be both. You couldn't do both. So they got rid of the skill sets and brought tokens or skill points. And I have to say, I like it a lot more. Another thing that I liked that they added to the game was the way that your player was promoted from the minors to the major leagues. Instead of having a conversation in your manager's office, it's a shock. Your player's at his apartment late at night, and the team that you need, needs you the next game. So it's a very last second thing. You're at your apartment late at night. Hey, I'm about to go to bed, but hey, I got news for you. You got to get your butt to Washington, Houston, or whatever to play for the Nationals, the Astros, the Dodgers, what have you. I really like that they added that into the game. Is that enough to merit, a $100 price tag? Absolutely not. And that's the thing. They're adding little things, but they're not making drastic improvements. And that's something. And again, this scene right here, the audio, which you can't hear right now, it is the same from last year. It's whatever that lady's name is. She goes, Major League debut. The same exact cutscene from last year. So they're adding little things, and they're also not changing anything. Or they're changing it just a little tweak. Like in the other video I made with the copy and paste job when you're getting promoted from AA to AAA. It's literally the same it's literally like the same. It's mostly the same. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm winging this. But they changed a few words to the dialogue. That's all they did. They changed a few words to the dialogue and moved the dialogue from one side to the other. That was it. So with that said, when you hear other YouTubers like Ryan Moody and perhaps Soft Drink TV and others, when you hear them say that San Diego Studio is doing a lot of things similar to Madden, don't get mad at them, because they are telling the truth. And here's another example. When you get promoted from AAA to the major leagues and you're meeting your teammates for the first time, pretty much the same cutscene, but done at a different camera angle.
Okay, this is the same from last year. This is the same camera angle. Are they gonna be like, hey, look at the new guy? Wait for it. Yup, this is the same shit from last year. Okay, slightly different camera angles. I mean, that's not good enough.
And remember what I said about the scoreboard?
But once the league gets a book on you, starts attacking.
Why is my average incorrect?
Can shift in a hurry.
I just noticed that. My average says 279. I'm hitting 405. There's two different things. Oh, that's frustrating. That's something I've complained about this game for years, is that the stats on the screen aren't accurate.
The shortstop takes the ball.
Come on, baby. Yeah.
Swing and a ground ball, and that one gets through into center field. The throw to third.
But again, ladies and gentlemen, you have to ask yourselves a few questions. Number one, are these little cute additions enough to merit a $100 price tag? In my opinion, not really. There are a lot of things this game does well. The gameplay is solid. I really enjoy, challenging myself on GOAT mode or Veteran or Hall of Fame, going up against, pitchers that have really unique throwing styles and, trying to hit off speed pitches and try and hit fastballs out of the zone, trying to draw a walk. All that is great. But the little things are a problem with this game. The issues that have been prevalent for years that haven't been fixed. The cutscenes that have only been tweaked, just a camera angle tweaked to the side and a few words. To me, that doesn't give you points. If anything, it takes points away. And for that reason, my final score for MLB 25 The Show is 6.5 out of 10. However, it is still my favorite game, and I'm still going to play it. But I'm not going to pretend that this game is amazing, because it is not, and it needs serious work. I'm Ryan O'Hara for Ryan O'Hara on Sports, and we will see you next time.